Hello, welcome beautiful people. Thank you for clicking on this yoga class today. You might need 2 blocks and a blanket and perhaps a glass of water. We're going to start seated, just a comfortable seat. Notice if you are, part of this practice is self-study, just noticing, becoming aware of your body and space. Notice if you're sitting a little bit here, where your pelvis is tilted back. Think of like you're sitting up in a castle or something in the chair, lifting up through the crown of your head, and you may wish to elevate up on a block to help tilt your pelvis a little bit. Maybe a blanket. So an easy cross-legged position, Sukhasana or Siddhasana, which is like this. Palms down or up or in your lap. Just don't want to be clenching or holding. Feel free to move around a little bit. And either close your eyes or find a gazing point on the floor in front of you. We won't be here very long, just long enough to arrive to your practice today. Notice how you're feeling. What does it feel like to be in this body today? And so we start where we're at on any given day. And one of the best things about this practice is that it meets you where you're at. So there's no need to be a different version of who you are. As you feel your body settling into this shape and in the space that you're in, allow your mind to begin to follow the movement of breath in your body. Just noticing as you breathe in where you feel expansion. And as you breathe out, a sense of settling in. Soften the muscles in your face and jaw. You could open your mouth. And then little by little, begin to let your exhale be longer. Nothing dramatic, just taking a bit more time to exhale. And perhaps a longer breath in. And as you continue to steady your breath out and lengthen your breath, think of breathing 3-dimensionally. So that as you breathe in, there is a sense of expansion in the belly, perhaps the side body or the back side of your body. So there's this 3-dimensional breath. See if you could keep your shoulders soft and your chest a little bit soft. And bring your hands to heart center. Actively press your palms together. Think of a word that has meaning for you today. It's something that comes up, perhaps a couple of words. Gently bow your head. Flicker your eyes open. Good. And we'll begin hands on your knees. If you're sitting up on a block, remove the block. And just start to make some circles with your body, your upper body, rolling around. And notice if your breath changed. Allow your breath to flow. You could close your eyes or keep them open. And switch direction. Long breath, soft face. And start exploring. Come back to center and reach your arms forward, just until you feel something in your hips. Doesn't have to be too far. Take a breath or two. Maybe let your head go. Notice where you're feeling your breath. And walk your arms over to the right. Again, nothing too far. And then over to the left. Back through center. Walk your hands up towards your body. We'll come into Navasana, bull pose, just for a couple of breaths. Your feet could be on the ground, hands behind your thighs. You could have your feet lifted, maybe lift your arms, lift your chest, take a couple breaths here. And then switch the cross of your legs to the awkward way. And you'll know because it will feel awkward. Walk your arms forward. Take a breath or two here. Breathe deeply and steadily. In and out of your nose if possible. And walk your arms over to the left. And then over to the right. So beginning to move inside, noticing thoughts and feelings. And back through center. And walk your hands up towards your body. And we'll come onto all fours into table pose. I forgot to mention I have physical limitations like most of us. So if I am cueing something different than what I'm doing, it's because I'm modifying for my body. So my arms don't straighten, so I do different stuff to help my body. So coming into table pose, take a comfortable stance with your hands and then look at your hands, press them down. Notice if your hands are turning in. So either here or maybe a little bit wider, turning them out slightly. And toes could be tucked or untucked. And we'll just start to make some circles again with your body. And allow your breath to lead the movement, rather than the movement leading the breath. And it might be helpful here to close your eyes. And as you're moving in a circular manner, can you feel your hands actively pressing into the earth? Switch directions. Coming back to center, find table pose and reach your right arm forward. Think of backstroking your right arm so that the thumb is up as you reach back. And then as the hand comes down, fingertips will face your knees or perhaps maybe a little bit out. And we're going to do some cat-cow here. As you exhale, press the spine up to the ceiling. On the inhale, hammock your spine. So just moving back and forth. And you may want to take your left hand a little bit wider. And this whole practice is an exploration. Body, mind, breath. Good. And then slowly reach back with your right arm. Up, over, and down, and we'll switch sides. Left arm reaches forward, up, backstroke, and then all the way down so that the fingers face your knees. Maybe take your right hand a bit wider. Just start to move in and out of cat and cow. And then both hands. Take your right arm, reach it back. Some cat-cow here. And it might feel good to hold a shape and just breathe there. Good. Slowly walk your hands forward. And then tuck your toes under, shift your hips way back towards your heels, begin to press the earth away from you. You're going to feel, hopefully, a stretch on the bottoms of your feet. Pull yourself up to table, untuck your toes, shift your hips back, press the mat forward, and take a couple breaths. Maybe inch your fingers forward. Pull yourself up to table, tuck your toes under and walk your hands back, maybe sitting on your heels. And you could reach back and tuck your toes under. Shake your wrists out. You could be up here too if it's too much. And then back to table. Untuck your toes. We're going to thread the needle. So lifting your right arm way up. Reach your right arm under behind your left wrist with the palm facing up. Come onto your right ear. And either your left hand could stay where it is. It could reach forward. Or it could maybe wrap behind you. Just take a couple breaths here. You could also press a little bit. Steady breath, soft face. Bring your left hand by your head, actively press down to come up. Find center. And then lift your left arm up. Reach it behind the right wrist, coming onto the left side, left ear. And then whatever you did on the other side, or maybe if it's different, maybe your shoulder feels different on this side. Couple of breaths. And then right hand by your head, actively press down to come up. Puppy pose, Anahatasana. Walk your hands forward, take them wide. Your hips are way up above your knees. You could bring your forehead to the mat, maybe a block, perhaps your chin. Take some breaths here. And slowly make your way onto your belly. Reach your arms forward and bring your forehead down to the mat. Shimmy your hips a bit. And tune into what you're feeling. Can you feel your breath moving through your body? As you breathe in, perhaps you're feeling your belly press down or the back side of your body expanding. And bring your hands to the outside of the mat. Come way up on your finger pads, like you have cupcakes under the palms of your hands and you don't want to touch the icing. Lift one leg, reach through the toes and set the foot back down, and then lift the other leg. Reach and set back down. Press your feet down, press your finger pads down. Press your pelvis down and lift your head, chest, and heart up. And then lower down. So moving at your own pace, as you come up, notice if your shoulders are way up by your ears. Try to just release the shoulders, moving up and down. And think of your legs being straight and strong, and that you're anchored, so that you're coiling out of the upper back. You may wish to dip one shoulder and then the other. Notice that your breath remains steady. You may wish to take your hands forward. Again, just exploring. Anchoring. Maybe looking left or right. Keep reaching through your legs, through your toes. Good. And then come on back down. And bring your hands by your low ribs. So think of what your hands look like when you're in downward dog or table or plank. Spread your fingers. Bring your forehead to the mat. And before we do anything, press your hands down and isometrically, which means there's activation but there's no movement. So you're pressing down and actively pulling your hands towards your feet. As you do that, you're going to feel your whole body shift forward. Keep that action in the arms and the hands, anchor through your feet as you lift your head, chest, and heart up. So again, you're coiling out of the upper back. The shoulders move up, back, and as they go down, we pull with the hands, lift the head, chest, and heart up. Notice if you're here, think of being here. So lower, rather than pressing your arms straight, we're coiling out of the upper back. Lower down. Do that once more. Press your hands down, pull them towards your feet, drag your chest forward, so tractioning as we lift up and lower down. Let's shift back to child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch. Put your hips back towards your heels. Reach your arms forward. Maybe shimmy a little bit. Lift your chest and walk your arms over to the left. And you may wish to take your left arm behind you as you reach through your right fingertips. And then over, lift your chest over to the right. And this time maybe your right arm comes behind you. And come back to center. Pull yourself up to table pose. Find table. Tuck your toes under and shift your hips back. And pull yourself up to table. Strong arms. Think of protracting the shoulder blades. The opposite of that is retraction. Think of protraction so that the shoulder blades get broader on the back side of your body. Anchor through your left foot and reach your right leg behind you. Good. Roll your ankle. So movement with the ankle joint. Keep pressing your left foot down, firm your arms. And then take your right knee behind your left knee. Shift your hips back just until you feel something. We're all going to look a little different. Back to center. Find table. Protract your shoulders. Extend your left leg back, and then pressing down with your right foot, lift your left leg and roll your ankle joint. And find a little lift in the belly so that you're not arching through the back. And take your left knee behind the right knee. to table pose. Good. Walk your hands back so that you're standing on your knees. Tuck your toes under. And then bring your arms by your sides. Think of your arms being strong. You know, like when you, if a car gets stuck in the snow and you push the car, you use your whole body, you don't just push with your arms. This is called irradiation. Well, think of irradiating your whole body so that it's strong. There's a ribbing, a knitting action here at the ribs. The muscles in the back are engaged. And start to bend your knees. So think of no back bend. So it's almost like the space between your lowest rib and your frontal hip bones are getting smaller. Irradiate your arms, lean back. And then squeeze the muscles in your bum and your legs to come up. Good, we're going to do that 2 more times. Lean back. Feel a little shaky shake in your legs. And then squeeze to come up. And once more, lean back. And then squeeze to come up. Good. Untuck your toes. And just come to child's pose for breath. Come on up to your knees. And see how slowly you could press your left foot down and step your right foot forward. You may want blocks here. I like blocks. So there's 3 levels to the block: high, medium, and low. Allow your right knee to bend a little bit. It's okay if the knee bends in front of the ankle. You just want to make sure you're doing that controlled motion. So start to get into your hips a little bit, maybe some circles. Allowing the knee to bend. Maybe lifting your chest. We're going to find Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Shift back, flex your right foot. Maybe move your ankle around, you could point. Notice if you feel your back like you want to get down, like you're rounding your spine, think of lifting your chest and pulling your sternum towards your big right toe. So you're getting longer in the spine. Press your right heel down and isometrically try to pull the right leg back in space. You could bend the knee, take a breath. And slowly bend your right knee, lift your chest. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee and step your left foot to the front of the mat. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Bend your knees, find opposite elbows, and just hang over your legs. Long breath. Release the back of your neck. Maybe roll your shoulders. And any movement here that feels good. You could shift side to side. Maybe lift your toes so that you feel the arches of your feet lifting up. So that good anchoring through the feet. You could open up through the side body. And then we are looking for a release in your lower back. So we're not looking for the legs to be straight. We're just looking for the lower back, maybe the middle back. It'll feel like you can't force that. It's done through just letting go and breathing. Release your hands, bring your feet hips distance apart. Bring your hands to your shins or the floor and pull your chest forward. And fold in, bend your knees a little, let your head hang down. 2 more times, lengthen and forward fold. And once more, lengthen and forward fold. Good. Step your right foot way back. Lower the knee. And reach your arms up in the air. Couple of breaths here. So you may feel like being still which is great, where you may feel like moving a little bit. And your arms could be wide, they could be straight up, maybe the palms are touching. Take a couple of breaths. Anything that's on the floor, press it down. And try to press your right foot down and pull it back. And press your left knee foot down and pull it forward. You'll feel a scissoring action between your thighs. And bring your hands to your heart, and how slowly can you step your right knee back to meet the left. Inhale, reach your arms up in the air. And child's pose, come on back. Inhale, come on up. And then how slowly can you step your left foot to the front of the mat. Find your blocks if you're using them. And then just start to explore a bit. The hips. Maybe allowing the knee to go in front of the ankle. Perhaps lift your chest up. And then shift back to half splits. Ardha. Ardha means half. Ardha Hanumanasana. And press down with your left heel and try to pull your left leg back. And you could bend the knee and draw your chest forward. And slowly bend your right knee or your left knee and lift your right knee up and step your right foot forward. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Bend your knees. Interlace your hands behind your back. You could also hold a strap or a towel or a sock or a tie. Let your head hang down. And think of lifting the shoulder blades up to the ceiling and then letting the arms come away from the body. Slowly release your hands to the floor. Find a block and place the block in front of your right foot on the highest or the middle level. Place your hand on the block and reach the other arm up in the air. Good. Notice where the palm is facing in the arm that's lifted. It should be facing the wall that you're looking at, not behind you. And you want to open through the chest, broaden, lean back a little, and then again, anchor through your feet. And then switch sides. Notice with this palm where it's facing. So when the palm faces back, we're internally rotating from the shoulder joint. We want to externally rotate, open through the chest, lean back, take a breath. And right hand comes down. Or left arm if you were doing that side. Tuck your feet in. Bring your hands to your shins, pull your chest forward. Fold and let your head go. And then hands to hips, bend your knees, slowly stand up. Yay, we're standing. All right. So we're going to do some neck circles. So just allow, notice how you're standing first of all. Just stand and feel yourself standing. It's not very often that we actually just stand still. So feel yourself standing. And then drop your chin and rotate your chin to the right. And as you do that, notice if your left shoulder or your right shoulder lifted up. See if you could remain standing tall, just rotating the chin to the right. And then rotate your chin over to the left. Good. Rotate your chin over to the right. Begin to lift your chin up. And as you do that, continue to notice, are your shoulders remaining soft? Continue to lift your chin up, let your head fall back. Keep breathing steadily over to the left. It's very common here for the right shoulder now to lift up. Relax your shoulders and just let your head come over to the left. Good. Bring your chin down and then back to center. We'll go the other direction. Chin over to the left, so rotate over to the left. Start to lift the chin up. Keep breathing. And head goes back. Over to the right. And you might hear some crackling. I am. And if you find a spot that feels sort of crackly and like you want to hang out there, just hang out there. Good. And let your head come forward. We'll do one more each side. So rotate over to the right, lift your chin up. Move as slowly as you like. And if you are moving quickly, maybe question it and then come back and try it again, moving slowly. There's no need to move quick. So over to the left, lean back with your head. Keep breathing. And over, chin comes down. And back to center. Good, lift your head up. Good, so we're just gonna shake it out a little bit. Take your legs one at a time. Start to shake. So not like this. Think of really shaking. Let your whole body shake. Good. And then feet about hips distance apart. On an inhale, reach your arms up in the air. And as you exhale, bring your arms by your sides. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach your arms up. Maybe look up. Maybe palms touch, look past your thumbs. Exhale, arms by your sides. And once more, inhale, reach up. And exhale, arms by your sides. Moving on, reach up, breathe in. On an exhale, forward fold, bend your knees. Let your head hang down until your fingers touch the floor. Halfway lift, shift forward, look forward. Fold in, let your head go. And rise with intent, energetically reaching up to the sky. And arms by your sides. So anytime that we come into a forward fold, it is from the hips hinging. So notice if you're doing this and trying to touch your toes, think of hinging at the hips, letting your head hang down. You can always bring your hands to your knees. If there's something going on where it just doesn't feel right to forward fold, you could bring your hands to your knees. So we're going to do 3 half sun salutation A's. It's 3 breaths. So feet about hips distance apart. On an inhale, reach your arms up. Maybe look past your thumbs. Forward fold. Halfway lift, shift forward, look forward. Forward fold, let your head go. On an inhale, rise to stand all the way up. And arms by your sides, grow taller. Exhale. 2 more, breathe in. Anchor through your feet and legs. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, arms by your sides. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise up. And arms by your sides. Moving on, inhale, reach up. Right arm by your side, side bend to the right. Couple of breaths here. Think of pressing down with your left foot, reaching through your left arm. Maybe look down or up. Most importantly, how is your breath? Allow your breath to flow through center And over to the left side. Couple of breaths. Inhale through center, reach up, look up. Maybe a little back bend here. Think of lifting your heart. In slow motion, forward fold. You could bend your knees. Halfway lift. Step your left foot way back. Lower the left knee. Reach your arms up in the air. On an exhale, step to plank pose, top of a push-up. Plant your hands. Step your right leg back to plank pose. Notice if you're here, push up, protract through the shoulder blades. Press your hands down. Maybe lower your knees as you come all the way onto your belly. Sphinx pose, or not Sphinx pose, Cobra. Press your hands down. Pull back. So Cobra is a pulling action, not a pushing. Well, you are pushing, but it's more pulling. Pull. Lift your head, chest, and heart. And then back to child's pose. Inhale, stand on your knees, reach your arms up, hands to heart. Step your right foot forward, hands come down, lift your left leg up in the air. Let your head go. You may want to have your hands on blocks here. But look at your left leg and notice if it's behind the right leg. Can you press your right foot down, pull the right hip back an inch, and reach long through the left foot. You could point, flex, or floint, doesn't matter. The left foot next to the right. Lengthen your spine. Fold in, release your head. And rise up, tall, reach up, touch the sky. Side bend over to the right, exhale. Through center, and over to the left. And through center, reach up, look up, maybe a little back bend. And forward fold, take your time. Halfway lift. Step your right foot way back. Lower the knee. Reach your arms up in the air. Plank pose. Couple of breaths. And you can always take plank pose on your knees. Push the earth away. Maybe lower your knees as you come all the way down. Breathe into your back bend and reach through your toes. Lift your heart. Depress your shoulders. Child's pose. Shift back. Stand on your knees. And slowly step your left foot forward. Hands come down. Right leg lifts up. Let your head go. And then start to be here. Press down with your left foot. Pull the left hip back. Release the back of your neck and then start to lengthen through the right leg. Doesn't matter how high it is, think of getting longer. Right foot next to the left, lengthen, shift, fold in. Rise up, breathe in. All the way down, exhale. Shift and lengthen. Step your left foot way back. Lower your left knee. And then tick-tock your right foot over to the right. You could turn your right foot out if you'd like. Your hands could be flat on the floor. You could bring your elbows to blocks. Take a couple breaths in either movement or stillness, doesn't matter. Maybe begin to open your chest over to the right with your right hand on the inside of your right thigh. Notice if you're collapsing in your left shoulder. Lift up, lean back, turn. And come back to center. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee, and then walk to the left. Toes in, heels out. Any forward fold here that you'd like to do. You could hold your ankles. You could hold opposite elbows. You could come into Prasarita A, where your fingertips line up with the tips of your toes. Wherever you are, think of shifting the weight a bit forward. So think of the hips lifting up and the head hanging down. Press your feet down and take a couple breaths. And halfway lift your chest up. Walk to the right. And step your right foot back to plank pose. Take a breath in, maybe lower your knees as you come all the way down. Pull yourself into your back bend. Child's pose. Take a couple breaths. Inhale to table, stand on your knees, step your left foot forward. Lift your right leg up in the air. And place your right foot next to the left, lengthen. Fold, exhale. Rise, breathe in. All the way down, exhale. Shift, lift, lengthen. Step your left foot your right foot way back. Lower the right knee. And tick-tock your left foot over to the left. You could turn it out. And just begin to explore. Explore your breath. Maybe move a little bit. If it feels good, you could come onto your blocks. Perhaps you're beginning to come into a twist. Lean back. And keep reaching through the right foot. Notice if you're collapsing in your right shoulder. Press down and turn. And then come back, bring your hands down. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee. And then walk to the right. So Prasarita Padottanasana A, lengthen, always length before depth, and then fold in, hands parallel to feet. Elbows hug in a bit like a chaturanga arm. Let your head hang down, hips high. We'll take a couple breaths here. Steady breath. Soft face, active legs. And lift your chest up. And please walk to the left. Step your left foot back to plank pose. Take a breath in, lower your knees, come all the way down. Cobra, reach through your toes. And back to child's pose. And come on up to table, and then we're going to come onto our back side. I don't know if my feet should be down here or my head. I think I'm going to put my head this way. All right, come onto your back. When you get there, bend your knees. Bring your arms by your sides. And then feel yourself breathing. On your inhale, keeping your arms on the floor, reach your arms wide and overhead. You might have to move some stuff, so do it slowly so that you're not knocking over your water. And then the exhale, arms lift up in the air and they come by your sides. And we're going to do that 3 times. Inhale, reach your arms wide, up and overhead. Exhale, arms lift up and come by your sides. Good, 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Once more, inhale and exhale. And switch directions. Inhale, lift your arms up in the air, reach them overhead. Exhale, wide arms, bring them by your sides. 3 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Good. Begin to press your feet down, and as you inhale, lift your hips up. And then exhale, lower your hips down. Good. So we're going to do that 3 more times. Actively press your feet down, and then lift your hips up. And lower down. And 2 more times. I leave my arms like this. You could bring your arms down. You could hold the mat. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. And once more, lift up. And lower. And now do something different with your feet. Either take your feet further away from you. If you do that, you're going to engage more of the back of your legs, or take your feet closer to you. And if you do that, you're going to engage the front of your legs. So either longer or shorter, just something different. And then press your feet down, lift your hips up. And lower down. Just 2 more. Press down, lift up. And lower down. And once more. Press down, lift. And lower. Good. And then do the opposite. So if your feet were closer, take them farther away. And then if they were, do the opposite. All right. Press your feet down. And then lift up. And lower. And lift up. And lower. And once more, lift way up. Press down, and lower. Good. And now find middle ground. Find middle ground for you. Press your feet down, lift your hips up. Bridge pose. So options like this, think of like a robot arm where you're actively pressing down with your triceps. You can roll your shoulder blades under, gently press the back of your head down. You could interlace underneath your back and press your forearms into the earth. You could hold the outside of your mat and actively press the mat away from you. So think of your whole foot pressing down, inner foot line, outer foot line, and that your inner thighs are rolling down. And don't be afraid to use your bum. Your muscles in your bum are the main muscles that push your hips into extension. So we want to use these. Take another breath. Keep lifting, keep squeezing. Lower down. Good. Let your spine settle. And then gently rock left and right. And take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee, and bring your arms by your sides. And then using the muscles in your body, just pull your left knee in towards your thigh or your chest. And then gently tap your foot on the ground. Good, couple more times. Pull in and tap. So there's effort here. There's energy. This is done with strength. Pull in, pause. Keep pulling the thigh towards your chest. And as you do that, think of your knee gently moving away from you. Good. Place your foot on the ground. Take your arms wide and let your legs tip over to the left. See if your right foot could touch flat on the floor, and then let your right knee either stick up or tip over, or even this way. It's kind of interesting. Close your eyes and just try to do nothing, which is hard to do. Allow yourself to do less. And breathe more. Come back to center. And you could stay there as long as you want. Place your foot down, gently lift and square your hips. And then left ankle over the right knee. And bring your arms by your sides and pull. Pull in, pull in, pull. And touch. 2 more times. Pull. And touch. And once more, pull in. Keep breathing, keep engaging hip flexors, pulling your chest or your thigh towards your chest. Good. And then slowly left foot or right foot touches down. Arms wide, and legs will tip over to the right. Now your left foot just lands flat, and then let your leg just do what it wants to do. And maybe turn your gaze over to the left. So one of the things that we practice on our mats is letting go. Letting go of expectation. Letting go of what we think our bodies should be able to do. And then just working with your body, noticing where you might be holding tension, and using the breath as a tool to help release and let go. And slowly come back to center. Place your left foot flat. Lift and square your hips. Couple rocks left to right with the knees. And then pull your knees into your chest. And just roll around a little bit. Happy baby pose. So traditionally, arms find the outside of your feet. For me, that's challenging. You could hold your ankles. You could hold the back of your thighs. Soften through your chest. So you're actively pulling down with your arms as you press your feet up to the ceiling. And then you may wish to be still. Perhaps you want to rock a bit. Some people like to straighten one leg and then the other. And draw your knees into your chest. And give yourself a hug. And then we'll rest for a little bit in Savasana. Take your legs long. Arms could be anywhere you want. And this shape you could also do on your side. You know, if you don't like to be open like this, you could prop yourself up. And we'll rest here for a while. And very slowly begin to bring some movement back to your fingers, your toes. Begin to deepen your breath. And make some movements with your ankles and your wrists. And you could reach your arms overhead, point your toes, and draw your knees up to your chest. You could stay there or roll over to your side. And please make your way up to seated. Find a comfortable seat. And press your palms together. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.